I think Speaker Johnson is righteous in seeking to have different agencies of government expire their funding at different times. But I am against continuing the policies of Pelosi and the spending of Biden. We have to roll up our sleeves and deliver on the commitments we made to the Republican voters when they elected a Republican Congress. Yeah, okay. So if you want to deliver, then why don't you just stop the funding to all of these agencies? I mean, you're the House. You have the power of the purse strings. So why is funding still being given to any three-letter agency, whether it's in health? And don't, I wouldn't even want to listen to the excuses of, well, we have to have somebody in charge. No, when you have somebody in charge, it means they're in charge of all of us too. Okay? And so they get to tell the hospitals that we think that you should make sure all your employees are vaccinated. So they'll have to go without working if they choose to want to make their own decisions. That's what happens when you have somebody controlling health. You know, Dana White with the UFC. I just saw a clip on Twitter with him saying that he will never go for like continuing how all of this. Like I personally believe in that stuff either. This checkup and you do this test and that test. I mean, the medical system has made so many, trinkets and machines to test you for things, but there's no cures for anything. But he was saying that if he gets a broken limb or, he needs medication, then he'll go to the doctor, but otherwise he will never trust a doctor again. That's where many American people are at. And I'm a nurse. And I get that because of the amount of cover-up and lies. And the further, I keep saying it, the further these associations of medicine, nursing, and the hospitals keep going down this track, acting like, oh, the American people will just forget it. We don't have to do the right thing. We don't have to have a reckoning of our own poor behavior. The more they keep doing it, the more it's like, no, that you are just digging the hole deeper. And I'm just at this point where it's like last night I thought, you know what, there's a reason people don't like to follow politics. There's a reason. Everybody wanted people to get involved many years ago because of everything that happened with the science and every other industry, especially so many people that woke up in 2020. But, you get to this point, it turns into such a three-ring circus, and you just think, you know what, nobody's listening to you. Nobody cares what you say. Again, none of these people have any idea what it's like for most average Americans. They don't have a clue. They don't. But then it turns into this, and I love President Trump. I do. But the three-ring circus all over Twitter of Trump and Tucker being a ticket. It's like, oh, please stop it, okay? Tucker got his kid into Georgetown because he was friends with Hunter Biden. And yet people fall for this shit from Charlie Kirk and so many others. And it's like, first of all, I don't want a Hollywood White House. If you're any American that's even halfway awake, you should want Hollywood just to go away. Like, really. Like, get out of my face. Even if you weren't on Epstein's Island, okay? If you got anywhere at any big level, okay, you haven't been doing something right. And I'm not judging because we all do things wrong. We do. But I'm sick of the three-ring circus. Like last year, it was cool, President Trump coming into the UFC, and I know he's helped Dana White, and Dana White's talked about that. Trump helped save the UFC, so I get it, okay? But in last year it was really cool, and not that it wasn't this year. It's like turned into this spectacle, in a way to me, that it's like, is this what we're judging? Is this what America has become? And it's Kid Rock and it's Tucker, and believe me, truly, when I say this, Kid Rock is like my all-time favorite. I've seen him more in concert than anybody on the planet. I have. I mean, like every concert I've been to of his, with exception the last few years. But I mean, seriously, just love Kid Rock. Okay, he's great in concert, so it's nothing against him. But it just becomes that it's about all this popularity. It's about who in the media is popular. It's who's popular in Hollywood. And it's like, this is my question, where do the American people that are just average, hardworking people fit into all that big old mess? That big old mess of, glamour, and it's all Hollywood, and it's all, yeah, we're cool. It's like, it's just, I don't know. I just burnt out on it. And that's why people end up wanting to turn politics off and wanting to have nothing to do with it, because to Matt Gaetz, to the guy interviewing him, I forget his name, Eric Bowling, I think, is it Newsmax? I think it's Newsmax. Yeah. This is a whole separate club. I'm not saying that it's necessarily some Epstein Island club, okay? But it's a club that most Americans, sorry, we're not in that area. We don't relate, so you can't relate to us. And so I get tired. I just get tired of it turns into like a circus for me, and I think that because of the media not doing the right thing, and that includes newspapers and peer-reviewed journals, and take your pick, all the experts, all these elite, higher-educated people that I've really just ripped to shreds the past few years. And I think it's warranted, quite frankly, especially when it comes to the people setting the standard of care in nursing. It's like, I just don't know how, it's just two different worlds. Because shouldn't every person in the House, instead of like talking about Israel or Ukraine and how we give all this money to Ukraine, and so we should give to Israel, it's like, no, the amount of people that could be helped in this country, like Americans, but you wouldn't think about them. You wouldn't. Not unless they were popular, right? Not unless they were famous, and then but you wouldn't have to help them. But that's what I mean. The everyday people just get lost in the whole mess. It becomes just some popularity contest, and I get it. That's what elections are about. However, it's just when I followed politics long before 2020. I did. But I had moved away from it, at least to the extent that I followed it. I was pretty heavily consumed with it, after 9/11 for many, many years. And then when I went into nursing school, I pulled away from it. And Obama was in anyway, so it was easy to pull away from it. I didn't believe anything he ever said. Not that if he was going to do something in the best interest of the country, that is. I just didn't. I knew when he spoke at Kerry's convention, I thought, yeah, he'll be the next person to run, and he'll win, and that's exactly what happened. And I said those words to somebody. So, and I just knew he was no good. Just that gut feeling, not good, and obviously that's come to be true in more ways than I realized. But so when I see, it's like they're all these people, they're just, everything's great. It's like, no, what you people should be talking about is cutting funding to every 3-letter agency. That's if you want to operate within the Constitution. Really. I mean, if you're really about Americans' freedoms, then stop funding all of it. Stop it. Do what you have to stop it, so the tyranny can stop. But to continue to go on your popularity shows and praise yourselves and pat yourselves on the back, yeah, I'm over it.